Welcome to Where There's Wills.
There's a play.
I'm Ian, your mid-complexity casual gamer.
I'm Stacey. I'm your non-gamer gamer.
And we are here today with another Five and Dime. This time for our favorite, well, some of our favorite cooperative games. These are 15 cooperative game suggestions. Now, we don't have a ton of cooperative games. We've got enough. And I've played some of my board game club at school, and I've played some on Board Game Arena. So this list is going to be a little different for me. I have 5 games that are either board game arena games or games at my board game club at school. Most of my games total have been played on the tabletop though. So I usually don't include board game arena, but for this list, I kind of felt I needed to.
And mine are only played at the table because that's the only place I play them.
Yes. So let's get into it. My first game is one that has been played on Board Game Arena. And this is a trick-taking game in which people need to win a trick with a certain card in it, and that is the Crew Quest for Planet 9 by Cosmos Games. So in the Crew Quest for Planet 9, each person has a deck of cards, 4 different colors, so it's just like it's just like a regular deck of cards, except for they're, themed. But each round there is a goal card, and so let's say somebody needs to win a trick, and that trick needs to include the pink one. That means tricks need to be played out, and everybody knows what the goal is for that round. And what you need to do is you need to try and play your cards cooperatively so that the person who needs to get the trick with the goal in it gets it. So this is a really fun one. I like trick taking games. First of all, I've ever since I was in high school and I learned how to play euchre back in Wisconsin in the locker room during lunch. We used to go in there. I love trick taking games. And this one was really unique because most times you're trying to win the tricks. This time you're cooperatively trying to win the trick in a certain way, and you don't know when that is going to be available to you. So I really like that whole idea of needing to get a certain person, or there's multiple goals. So you got to play these cards out there, and you're hoping that someone doesn't have to play a certain card in order to get that trick. So that is the Crew, and that is my first suggestion. My second suggestion is one that we own. I guess we kind of own it. We own a prototype of this, and as of the recording of this game just hit Kickstarter on Tuesday of this week. This is a game that we have covered on this channel. We have the prototype copy for it. We backed it on Kickstarter, and that is Companion Quest by Ghostfire Gaming. In Companion Quest, each person has a gnome and a companion with them. The gnome has a one-time use ability. The companion has an ability you can use, and then they get tired, and then they have to rest, and then you activate them again by placing dice somewhere on the main board. And so the cooperative in this is you are trying to figure out which dice to use and to put where, because you also have to get challenges. You have to move across these quest cards as you're trying to catch up with Gugu, and you also are trying to figure out when you are going to use your gnome's ability in order to help either you or your partner, your other people around the table, as you're playing. So I really like this whole cooperative nature of, okay, I'm going to put these dice out here so that you can hopefully take care of 2 challenges on your next turn, because if you take care of no challenges, Gugu moves. If you ahead of you, if you take care of 1 challenge, Gugu stays still. But if you get to take care of 2 challenges on 1 turn, then Gugu moves back 1, and it kind of helps you because he doesn't get too far away as he's trying to cause mischief across the lands and stuff. So I like this whole dynamic of, okay, where can I place dice so that hopefully next time you can do some stuff, but also, okay, my ability on my gnome can help you. When is the best time to use that? And you're trying to complete this quest and trying to catch Gugu together. So I really like Companion Quest. This has been a hit for us. We played it I think 6 or 7 times last month. We backed it on day one, and we're looking forward to the final copy of the game because there's some really cool additions coming to it. So that is Companion Quest by Ghostfire Gaming.
And you were number 8 to back.
Yes, I was number 8. I got on my computer. I didn't have my payment saved on my school computer, so I had to jump over to my phone, and I only got number 8. I was hoping for number 1. I was on there like right away. But, yeah.
Oh boy. Well, that's all right. Life goes on. So my first suggestion for one of my favorite cooperative games is 60-Second City, which I can never say. I don't know who made
I did not
this
put
one.
it on there. I totally forgot to put it on there.
I usually depend on Ian to look that up and put that on there for me. But 60-Second City by a company that we really by Buffalo Games. Oh no, that's by the picture. Never mind.
It is Buffalo Games. I got the picture
oh.
from them. I forgot to put it on there. So it is Buffalo Games.
Go. Okay. So in
60
Second City, the board that you are working cooperatively to lay those tiles down so that you can build a game. You have 60 seconds in this game to work together and strategize to build the city depending on what strategy and goal cards you have to set up. Both players draw tiles, and you quickly have to put them in real time together on the board. My mind just went blank, and it usually doesn't even happen until the 4th game that I have. The goal cards down below are where you are trying to match. So you have to talk to each other to let each other know where you're going to be placing the tiles, because sometimes you have to place tiles on the border. Sometimes you have to fill the center. Sometimes you have a city park that you have to put around the cities. So as you're drawing the face down tiles to put face up on the board, you win or lose together. That's just the way it is. You're protecting your city against pollution that is in the tiles that are coming up. You have hazards that you need to lay down, or don't need to lay down. You don't want to lay down. You want to sometimes put tiles around those hazards so that you can take them off of the board. I get stressed out when I play this game because like I've mentioned in other videos, I don't want to lose, and I don't want to let Ian down. I just don't want him to do it. But darn it anyway. What?
It's a really fun. It's a very hectic game because
you have 60 seconds to do it.
6 seconds, and you're trying to get all these cards. Yep.
Yes. So yeah, if you is it 5?
5 rounds. I think it's 5 rounds. If you can get rid of all your cards in 5 rounds, yeah.
Then you win. But otherwise, we don't do that. I think we've done it once.
Oh no, we've done it a couple times.
Have we?
We've done it a couple times. Yeah. We don't play on a hard mode where you have extra. We play on the easiest or the normal mode, but we've done it a couple times.
Yeah, but if you can complete all the rounds in 5, or all the cards in 5 rounds, then you win. So that is my first recommendation if you like to be a little stressed out, but yet have fun while you're being stressed out. 60-Second City is the way to go.
My next one is my second game and my last game that I play exclusively on Board Game Arena. And this one is all about flying a plane, and that is Sky Team by Scorpion Mask. I learned this one last year, or late 2023, I think, on Board Game Arena. And then played it quite a bit in January of last year, and then kind of played it a little bit here and there, but not much. And then really got back to it in January of this year. I think I played it 21 times in January of this year, and I think I believe this is now my most played game on Board Game Arena.
Wow.
Basically in this game, you have limited communication, and you are trying to land a plane. So one person takes on the role of the pilot, which is the blue side. One person takes on the role of the co-pilot, which is the orange side. You have your altitude on those cards on the right. You have then you have the planes and the airport in the left, and you're trying to clear planes away, as you are also every round. Your round tracker is your altitude. Every round your altitude goes down. You're trying to get closer to the airport in the thing on the left. What you're doing is In between rounds, you are strategizing. And then when the round starts, you both roll your 4 dice behind a screen and you have no communication after that. So you have to strategize and make a plan before you actually start. And the pilot has to take care of the wheels. You have to keep your plane level. Sometimes you might have to tilt your plane depending on which airport you're going into. You have to tilt one way or the other. You have to coordinate your speed with each other. The co pilot takes care of the flaps. The pilot also has to take care of the brakes. And then if you can't use your dice, you put them down below and you can gain coffee to increase or decrease a dice roll. So I just love this whole idea of you're strategizing in between turns, and then it is a random roll of the dice, and you are hoping that the strategy you talked about works. Now, we usually try and strategize quite a bit and be like, okay, we need to do this, so your first dice needs to be here, and my first dice needs to be here to let the other person kind of know, like, I have it or I don't have it. We need to do some work. Um, so I love this game. This game is so much fun. Um, I was doing really good on it with the people that I was playing with, and then we hit some of the higher, even easier levels, and then the medium levels, and man, we have not been doing good lately. So, but this is one that I will continue to play this year. I will, as much as I played it in January, I will not doubt if I hit 75 plays of this year. We'll see. I was playing it with 3 different people at the same time, so I had 3 different games going on. Um, but yeah,
Wow.
so that is Sky Team. My next one is one that we own, and this is a party game where you are trying to direct your partner through a map by using words, and this is Landmarks by Floodgate Games. So in Landmarks, you are trying to direct your partner to certain areas. You have a card, which you can see on the picture. You have a card which tells you where certain things are. And then it also tells you what you're starting with. And you're starting with those 3 cards, those 3 tiles with words on it, and those words start there. And so then you will write a word on another tile and to try and get them to where you need them to go. And then you hand it to your partner. Your partner then places it. Now you have to be very strategic, because if you want them to go where all 3 of the words are, if you want them to go, in that middle spot, you need to come up with a word that goes with all 3 of those words. If you want them to go where only 2 of them are, you need to make sure you put it with only 2 of them. If you want them to go with one, you got to give them a very specific word that only goes with one of those words, and then you got to hope that they put it in the direction you want, because as you can see with those 2 on the sides, there's a lot of spaces where they might be able to go. So I just really like this game. We are not very good with word games, but we absolutely love to play them. It is one of those games where we just really like playing, and we don't care if we win or lose. We just love playing them, and it's just so funny because we both think way differently, and and then we tell each other what we're thinking, like, oh yeah, that makes sense. So that is Landmarks.
Is it my turn?
It is.
Okay. My next one is sorry, the dogs are
Our dog
chewing
is
on
chewing on something.
I don't know what it is.
What do you?
Whenever we try and do something, he feels it's needed
He
to
finds something to
chew
chew on.
on. Anyway, my next one
It's
is
like he found a sticky note.
Oh, fantastic! Well, wonder who will have that sitting around. Um, my next recommendation is a game that we've played a couple times, and both of us really enjoy it. It's Disney animated by Funko Games, I believe, is who put this one out. With Disney animated, you are trying to get rid of the villains and finish your films. So basically, is what you're doing is you're creating background art. You've got paint colors. You've got sound cards, and you are trying to bring each of those classic Disney stories to life. Um, but the villains of these movies know how your game is going to end, and so they're trying to cause trouble so that you don't finish your game. But as a team, you must use the strengths of the animation studio that you see up above. Um, in order to play your cards. So you need to have heart, you need to have focus, you need to have inspiration, grit, and teamwork. Are the cards that you see on the board in the middle there. You use those cards by working together to choose where you need to place your tokens in order to get those cards moved. Once you take a card, then you. Oh, my mind just went blank again. Once you take those cards, then the rest of the cards move down. I call it in a waterfall. I don't know what it's actually called.
Like a conveyor belt.
Conveyor belt type of thing. So if you take the third card, then the rest of the cards move over. And then you use those to place your cards onto your board so that you can finish it. And once you turn all of your villains over, you get your villains done and you get your cards onto your board, then you win. So you're trying to flush out the villains, you're trying to put your cards onto your board, and you're trying to get the middle cards where you want them so that you can finish up your token. So that probably didn't do a very good job at explaining it, but I really like this game. Ian likes it a lot more, and I think this would be a good game for bigger people. It comes with 4 boards, I believe. So
yeah,
there's 4 or 5.
Well, there's 5 movies, but I don't know if it plays to 5. I'd have to look.
Yeah, but I think this would be a good one for 2 or more people, 2 to 4 people, so that you could really work together and really figure out what you need to get those villains out of there and to get your cards going. So that's my recommendation: is Disney animated by Funko Games.
It would definitely be interesting to play it more and see like how you could synergize
Mhm.
more characters and more things going together. Yeah, that's a good one. I just realized that I put all of Stacy's games in the slideshow that I make ahead of time just so I could get pictures during my break time today, and when I'm as they were filming this, and I forgot to put the companies on hers, and then I put them all on mine because I was doing mine today. So yeah.
That's okay.
All right, my next one is one that I have access to at my board game club at school. It's another party game, and it's another word game, and it is all about making a blob, and that is Blob Party by WizKids. In Blob Party, you are each person is given one of these little blobs and a cute little eyeball to make your blob. And there's a category and a word. Each person has a whiteboard. What happens is during the game, one category and one word will get flipped over, and then you have to come up with a word that goes with both of those things that isn't that word. So you could have like beach and actor, and you'd be like David Hasselhoff, would be something. So like, or whatever it is, whatever your clue and whatever your category and whatever your word is, and so you have to come up with things that go with it. And if you and somebody else match exactly, you get to combine your blobs into one blob, and then you're working as a team. So I've played this with 6, I've played this with 7, I've played this with 8. We've had times when it was 7 against 1, where all 7 people or 7 people blobbed and one person was still trying to blob with everybody. We've had times where it was like 3, 2, and 2. We've had like 4 and 4. So it's a lot of fun because it just depends on who you're playing with and how they think. And it's just a lot of fun. Stacy and I are actually working on a 2-player variant on this, kind of based on other party games that play at 2 players. I think we got some good ideas for it, and I think we're kind of working on that a little bit. So, yeah, that is Blob Party by WizKids. The next one is one that we own, and this one is another one that is it's more of a gamery game with Cooperative, and this is all about saving cats. And this is Race to the Raft by City of Games. So in Race to the Raft, this is another one that has limited communication. So what you're trying to do is you have cats that you're trying to get out of their starting area onto the raft. And they can only move on their colored squares. And you have these 3x3 tiles, cards that you will grab. Each round, each person grabs 3 of them. And then you have very limited communication. So you can say, I have one that's really good for red, or I have nothing for purple, or whatever sort of communication. You cannot say, oh, I have a 6 red, or you can't be specific with things. So this whole like trying to figure out who has a card that you can use right now, who has a card that you don't want to use at all that you can move the cats, because you have to basically discard a card in order to move the cats once you have a path for them to move on. And also like figuring out when you want to move the cats, because you have these fire tiles that are chasing you. And then the other part is you have these meow and these talk tokens, which will allow you to talk a little bit more, or will allow you to meow at the other person.
Which is not helpful at all.
Like, I mean, you're doing meows in different tones to try and get them. Like, oh, don't go there, don't they? So you could like talk to help them put stuff where it is. So I really like this limited communication, but you're still giving each other a little bit. Like, I have one that's great for this, or I have one that's okay for this, and you're like, okay, you go. If you say yours is great, you go. And then you figure out like I don't have anything for this. You'd be like, okay, that kind of means like you can use that one to discard to move cats when you go. So that is Race to the Raft by City of Games.
And my next recommendation is Kites by Floodgate. In the game of kites, everybody's working together to keep your kites up in the air. The kites are represented by little colored timers that you're going to be flipping back and forth. When those timers are getting low, you need to work together to figure out who has that specific color of card to flip over, or to play, so that you can flip over that colored timer to reset it. If you can make it through all of your cards before all of the timers run out, then you win. It's just that simple. However, to make it unsimple, the timer that you've got different length of timers. Everything from, I think it's 30 seconds up to like a minute. I think is the longest
a
one.
minute,
2
minutes. I don't know.
minutes. So you have on the cards, you have like 2 different colors that you have to be aware of.
Some of them.
Yeah, some of them.
One.
Some of them are just one color, but a lot of them have 2 colors on them. And so you have to work together to make sure that you're laying down the right colored cards so that you can flip those timers in specific orders. This one stresses me out too. I don't know why I'm recommending games that stress me out.
Because they're fun.
They are fun.
The first time we played this, we didn't understand what we were doing, and we didn't do very good. Then we understood, and we won a couple. We got all the way through the deck, or we got really close, so we got a really good score. Like a good score is like having like 5 or fewer, or 3 or fewer, whatever it is. They've got some thresholds. We have gotten through the entire deck a couple times. The last time we tried to play this was an absolute disaster. We were tired. We were like, oh yeah, let's play this game that is played in real time, and you have to communicate in real time and think in real time and go really fast with it. And we played it twice, and I don't think we got through 20 cards total between the 2 plays. And we're just like, we're too tired for this right now. We're like, oh, let's play kites. Okay. And they're like, oh no, that was a bad idea.
I call this an evening game, but it has to be played in our house before like 7 o'clock.
I call this a daytime game because I don't even know if after work, no, this is not a game, because it's quick, and you're trying to communicate what you're doing quick, and you're trying to look at because you're looking at the cards, but you're also looking at the things, and you're communicating what cards you have. But
it's not always quick, because sometimes you want to go slow so that some of your longer timers run out a little bit more before you lay the card to get that one to flip over.
Or even some of the quick ones, so you
Yeah.
aren't flipping those over so quick and you have less time the next time it
Yeah.
comes around because you're like, I don't know when I'm going to get another one of these cards.
So when the timer runs out, that's when your kite crashes, and that's not what you want. So a lot of communication in this one.
Nice. Yeah, it's a fun one. It's hectic. It's real time. She's got 2 real time ones that are very hectic and very crazy. So yeah.
Fun.
Yeah, they're a lot of fun. They're a lot of fun. My next one is a game that I played on my global play day. A student brought it, and it was the first time I played it. I had heard about it, and this is 5 Minute Dungeon by Cosmos Games. So in 5 Minute Dungeon, each person is a character, so you can see 2 of the characters, the red character and the green character. Each one of those characters has abilities, and they each have a deck of cards which you can see face down. And then you can see some of them face up that have different colors on them. And then what you're trying to do is each round you have 5 minutes to get through the level of the dungeon. The dungeon levels get harder and harder. In order to do it, first you have to go through a deck of cards. So you can see there's a door, and you flip those over, and that has 2 symbols on it. And you're trying to say, okay, I have this symbol. Okay, I have this symbol. Okay, and then you play them down, and you just throw them down, and then it gets rid of it. And you go through the deck, and then you have to beat the boss. Really like this because it's another real-time cooperative game. So you are working in real time. You're trying to say, I have this card, I have this card. Okay, I'm going to use this ability. When you can use your ability as many times as possible, it affects you only. Except for there's one that pauses things, and there's another one that allows you to like pause until someone plays something or something. I don't remember. We played it once. We played through a couple rounds of it. It was a lot of fun. It was really crazy because we're like, oh, I got the arrow. I get this. Okay, that one's gone. And we're just throwing the cards down and clearing stuff out. I'm like, no, you don't need that. Take that back for now. We can have it next time. And yeah, it was a lot of fun. It's one I might be interested in getting. I don't know. I'd have to show Stacey a little more. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of hectic. Another real time where you're just kind of throwing down cards to get rid of the minions that are blocking you on the way to the dungeon and stuff. You have a little ability. So that is 5 Minute Dungeon.
Does it play it too?
Oh yeah, yeah. You can play up to however many players there are. So yeah, it's and with the number of different characters and abilities, it would have a lot of replayability because you could do different characters each time, and each character has a different ability that they can use to like. I think my ability was I could discard 3 cards and draw new 3 cards whenever I needed. So I'm like, I don't. These cards aren't any good right now. So I was doing that quite a bit. So that is 5 Minute Dungeon. My next one is new to us this week. We just learned this game this week. It is on our wall this month for March of 2025. And this is Nekojima from Unfriendly Games. And so in Nekojima, you are on the island of Nekojima, Japan, and it is the cat island. And so what you're trying to do is you're trying to balance these different power poles with their power lines on them. The way you decide, you'll see the board has 4 different regions. You roll 2 dice and it tells you which regions to put them in. But sometimes there will be a black dice and your partner has to tell you where the other one goes. So there's a competitive and a cooperative mode in this. The competitive mode, you would obviously be trying to make it hard for the opponent. But in the cooperative mode, you're trying to say like, okay, where can they go? Because you have to decide where you're placing the things before you know which poles you're going to place. Because first you roll the dice, you figure out where you're placing things, then you draw a little colored cube out of the bag. That tells you which color of pole you're going to get, because the blue ones have the longest distance, the white ones are the middle, and the red ones have the shortest distance between them. So that cooperative part of you're both trying to build, first of all, so you're really kind of cheering them on. You're kind of, discussing like, oh yeah, that's a good, yeah, I would go with the longer pole maybe and discussing which poles and where to put it. But also that part where when you roll a black one, they decide where the second one's going to go. So they are going to decide where that second pole is going to go. You might have it on green, and then they have to decide where it is. So they're going to go, well, you can look at which poles you have left and the heights of the poles because there's different heights, and then you can decide, okay, well, go over here because there's space, and I think we can get, no matter what color pole, I think you can get a good thing. So I really like this game. It's a lot of fun. I can see us playing it quite a bit this month because it is very quick to get out and very quick to play.
And you also have to remember that when you draw out your cubes to tell you what length you're putting out, if you draw out a black cube, that means you have to hang a cat from the power line.
Right.
And if you crash, like let's pretend like I did, then you lose. Yeah. Your cat can't touch the ground, your cat can't touch any other power lines, and your power lines can't touch other power lines.
And your power lines and stuff can't go outside the board.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a fun one. We enjoyed it a lot this week when we learned it. We'll probably, good chance we play it this weekend a couple times because you get out, you can play it a couple times really, really quick and put away. It's quick to get out, quick to set up and everything.
This may be the one and only game I play solo.
Yeah. Yeah. Because it could be.
I can practice.
Yeah.
Oh, I
practice balancing and stuff.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah.
All right. That is Nekojima.
Okay.
Your turn.
So my next game is a game that I just recently learned, not too long ago.
A couple months ago, I think.
And that is Link City by Blue Orange Games, I think is what they're called. Link City is a game where players are trying to build a big city. And in this city, you're trying to have the most connections between the location tiles and the scoring points. Each round, a different person takes on the role of the mayor, and their mission is to secretly connect 3 new locations to the sites marked by the 3 buildings. So the twist is that the other players don't know what the mayor is trying to plan. So you have a board that you put your tiles behind that tells you what you have to match up with the other players. If you match them up of where you want to put them with the little cones, the cones signifies where the mayor wants to put the city cube, or darn it. See, the 4th one is always the one that I screw up on.
No, the mayor doesn't put the cones out.
No, he puts them behind the board or by a board.
Right. The other person puts the cones out. The mayor then draws the places after the cones have been placed out, and the mayor has to figure out where they're going to put them.
Yep. So then once you figure out if you're matching your tiles or not, then you place them in the city. If they're not a match, then you have to place them kind of corner to corner, and leaves a hole in your city, which nobody wants. No one wants a hole in your city. But you're just trying to make the same choice as the mayor of where he wants to put his stuff. If you get the city put together, then is what you do is you count up all of the little bushes, for your points. And you have to work together as a team. So if you're playing with more than 2 people, everybody who's working opposite of the mayor has to work together to decide how the mayor's going to come up with his city. And then you rotate. The next person becomes the mayor. When you're just playing in a game of 2, like Ian and I do, then you just have to work with yourself, I guess, to try and work with the mayor to try and read his mind and figure out where those tiles are going to go and how your city is going to get the most bushes so that you can get the highest score.
It's still cooperative even with 2 players because you're still cooperating to try and figure out where things are going to go. So the first person puts the cones out, the mayor then goes, okay, what are they going to think that I can also think okay, where does this make sense that they're going to get that this is where it's going? So you are cooperatively trying to make this. Yeah, if you have more than 2, you do have other people that are discussing where the mayor might put it. But it's like any party game. It's at 2 players, it plays really, really well. At higher play counts, you're going to be discussing where you think the mayor, and you're going to be kind of coming to a consensus. But it's still very cooperative in the fact that you're trying to make the best city. So the mayor's got to put stuff in the places that make the most sense for what you're doing. And you kind of, when you're done, you talk about why you put something there, and they talk about why they thought it went someplace, because then you start getting in the same sort of mindset. Like we had one game one time where we had a whole bunch of food areas, and we're like, okay, well, I was putting it here because this is sort of a food mecca in our city, and this is kind of an entertainment area. So when those kind of things came up, we're like, okay, yeah, that makes sense there because we were going with food here, or we were going with like entertainment stuff here. So yeah, that is, I really enjoy that one too.
I like Link City. That's a fun game.
We
We should
like
play that this weekend.
We should.
Okay.
We like our word-ish party game type things. So um which is kind of new to us last year.
Yeah.
Like it really is. So
So that's Link City by Blue Orange Games.
nice. My next one is another word party game. This is one that I have access to at my board game club. So this one is called Just One by Repos Production. In Just One, you have, so over on the right side you can see a card. So it plays up to 7 people. And so what happens is the person whose turn it is will take their board, their whiteboard like easel thing, and they will draw a card blind and they'll put it face up facing everybody else. And then they say a number from 1 to 5. And that is the word that they have to try and guess. Now, the way this works is everybody else will write one word on their personal whiteboards. And they'll do that so everybody can't see. And then what happens is if any of those match, they have to erase. That's where the just one comes in, is you can only have one of every clue. So on this one, they had 6 different clues. But if 2 people had said milk, or 2 people had said dark, or 2 people had said white, you have to erase those. And you have to erase everything that matches. So you could essentially have one clue to try and figure out what the word is. Now, the guesser doesn't get to see what the options are. So the options are there just so the other people know which word they are giving clues to. So as the guesser, I don't get to see that chocolate is one of the clues. I just have to guess. Now, based on these 6, I think it'd be pretty easy. Like I didn't even look at what the possible words were, and I like, okay, milk, dark, white, okay, chocolate. But if dark had been eliminated and milk had been eliminated and you had sweet, white, Belgian, and hazelnuts, I don't think I would come up with chocolate off the top of my head. You know, I don't think chocolate, because I don't get to see that chocolate is an option. I just have to guess that off the top of my head. So, you know, so it's a really fun game because, I mean, I've had a lot of fun with this with kids and with like the adults when I've taught it to some of the adults at school. Just a blast because sometimes you end up with 6 clues, sometimes you end up with 3 clues, and you're like, how do those 3 things go together? It's another one where different people's mindsets are different. I've played this one on BGA as well. I've played this one in real time on BGA, and I've also played this one turn-based on BGA. It's a lot of fun, and that is Just One. And my final one is one of my favorite tile laying games. It is one that I played exclusively solo for probably the first year of owning it, and I taught it to Stacey last year, and we bought the expansion for it last year. And this is Beacon Patrol by Pandasaurus Games. In Beacon Patrol, you are both taking on the role of different ship captains, and you're exploring the waters. And as you have 3 tiles, you place them down, and then your boat moves on the water. In the cooperative mode, the way this works is, first of all, you're exploring in 2 different areas. But in the cooperative mode, if you see a tile that the other person has, you can say, I'm going to exchange this to you so that I can have that one because I can use it. Or maybe you have a tile that you can't use, and when you can't use a tile, but you know that the other person can use it, you go, let me give you this because you can use this one. Give me that one, and maybe I'll discard it, or maybe I can use it just, you know, briefly. We've passed tiles back and forth that we couldn't use. Just be like, I can't use this. I don't want to discard it because we might be able to use it. So we've passed one back and forth several times because like I can't use it. I know she can't use it, but she can pass it back to me after she sees what I draw, because every round you draw 3 more. So I really like this cooperative nature of you're trying to explore the most part of the ocean that is, pretty tightly connected, and you can go in multiple areas, but that whole idea of, okay, you've got a tile I can really use right now. So I'm going to give you this one that I can't use because that one's really going to help me and actually help us score more points. And then the expansion adds some boat powers and some special abilities for the boats, which also adds kind of this extra level of, okay, I can use that one for me. It's not going to be any good for you. So yeah, that one would be better for me. So that is Beacon Patrol from Pandasaurus Games.
And my last recommendation, even though these are in alphabetical order in case you didn't notice, this one is actually one of my favorite games to play. It's a silly game, it's a fun game, and let's just get to it. It is Trash Talk by Friendly Skeleton. In the game of Trash Talk, you are a bunch of raccoons and you're trying to communicate with the only thing and only way that you know how to communicate with, and that's through the trash that you're finding in people's garbage. In the first round, you are playing with 3 word cards that are revealed, and each player or the team has to secretly assign an object to the card. So you have matching objects that you are placing with those cards. So as you can see behind the screen, that is like a green tree, a purple ribbon, and an orange car. So then the guesser has to place their green tree, their orange car, and their purple ribbon with that word that they think most closely matches to what the person behind the screen is doing. If you do and you match it perfectly, then you move on to the next round. You have how many? I can't remember how many tries.
You get 2 tries each time.
Okay. So you keep going, and I think it's 5 rounds.
No,
You just keep going
you
till
go
you miss.
10. You get 10. You get. I think you can go up to 10 cards.
We've made it to like 5.
No,
5 or 6.
No, when your mom and sister were here, we made it to like 8.
Yeah,
We failed on 8, but we were cruising. I think together only done it we've only gotten up to like 5.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That's right. So yeah, so each round you add a card, right?
Well, you add a piece of trash first. You add a piece of trash first.
You have your stack of cards. You lay out 3 new cards, and then you add new trash. You swap out your trash so that.
No, other way around. You grab the trash first. You swap out the cards each time.
Okay.
So you grab your trash because you're using the same trash. You have to say this is a piece of trash because if you knew which cards, then the trash would be. So you grab your trash and then you deal out cards to see which ones you are trying to match to.
Yep. And is what my favorite thing to do is to find matching trash around the house. Hit the junk drawer, see what you've got in the junk drawer.
Bring your own trash.
Yep. Have trash will travel. It's my favorite thing. So we've added a few things from around the house inside the box just to add a little bit more character to the game. So that's really fun. If you have some stuff that you can add to it, just go around, find some stuff. Don't look at the cards first to see if you can find stuff to match the cards.
It won't matter. There's so many cards.
There.
I think we've put a marble in and rubber bands and I don't know. We put
tips.
A cute. Yeah, we went and just got cute, not dirty ones. No. Those ones were fresh. So.
They're fresh, out of the box.
It is a lot of fun. Yeah.
Yeah, so that is my last recommendation, and that's Trash Talk by Friendly Skeleton Games.
Yeah, the one thing about that game is when you have the 2-player variant, you are both behind screens. So in the regular party mode, one person's behind the screen and everybody else is trying to discuss and decide where they think things are going to go. In the 2-player, you are both behind screens, so you are both putting stuff, the same things with the cards, and then you reveal at the same time. It's very similar, but you're just both kind of hiding your stuff. It's so much fun. Yeah, we had played this many times, and then when her sister and her mom were here, we taught them, and It is so much fun. We blew past our record, 2-player record, and we just kept on going. I'm like, oh my god, we're on 8 pieces of trash. And when you start getting up to like 5, 6, 7 pieces of trash, it gets really hard because there's usually when you're that high, there's usually 1 to 3 pieces that don't make any sense. You have about 4, maybe like, okay, these ones make sense. And when it's lower trash counts and card counts, you'd be like, okay, these 2 are obvious. This one I'm just gonna throw over here because it's the only place I can put it. And usually it's pretty obvious. When you're getting up to higher numbers, you're like, okay, well I got 6 pieces of trash and 4 of them are obvious, but the other 2 don't go with the other 2 cards at all. You're just hoping that they make
The right choice.
the right choice.
Hope they match.
That is a great game. So there you have it. There are 15 cooperative game suggestions, everything from word games to more gamery games to party games. Yeah, all sorts of different types. We got trick taking games, we got dexterity games, we got tile laying games, all sorts of different types of cooperative games out there in ways you can do it one on one, just together, one versus a whole bunch of people discussing things. So there's lots of different variety out there in cooperative games. We have a few more on our shelves that we are really excited to get to. Kind of makes me want to get a cooperative game out here in the next couple weeks, just talking about them. But yeah, drop us a line as to in the comments what cooperative games do you guys enjoy playing? Do you have any suggestions for us based on what we said? Yeah, what do you think about the ones that we talked about? Any of these that you really like? Anything else?
You know my favorite cooperative game?
What?
Hockey. Does that count?
I don't think that counts.
Oh,
But
okay.
it's a sport, not a game.
Oh, well, it is
Cooperative
a game.
sport. Okay.
Game of hockey.
Yeah, yep. Okay. Anyway, this has been Where There's Wheels.
There's a play.
I'm Ian.
I'm Stacey.
And we'll see you next time.
At the table.